Rudy Gobert is one of the more respected players in the NBA. Quiet French player, plays beastly down the middle. He's a post-up guy, one of the best defensive players in the league. This particular thing happening, really in front of the cameras, in front of the whole team and the coaches, was very embarrassing. And the Timberwolves right now are playing for their playoff lives, going against the Lakers, LeBron James and Davis. You need a guy like Rudy Gobert. You spent a lot of money in the offseason. You traded a lot of pieces for Rudy Gobert for this particular game, for this particular series of events to happen the way it did before the season's end is embarrassing. Now, I don't know what the Timberwolves are going to do with Rudy Gobert. I don't know if anybody's going to want Rudy Gobert. He is a very expensive player. And if they decide to move on with Karl-Anthony Towns, which there's a lot of stories coming out there that a lot of teams will be interested in Karl-Anthony Towns in the offseason. And if they want to rebuild, which I don't know why they would, but we've seen a lot of stupid things over the last couple of years with the Timberwolves. Some of the moves that they have made were absolutely ridiculous. Trading away all those draft picks for Rudy Gobert made absolutely no sense. And this team, which was better than they were last year, they were better than they were this year. That is alarming when you have all these players and all this talent, and you bring in Rudy Gobert in his first year as a Timberwolf. It's absolutely embarrassing being in a playing game. You look at the Timberwolves and you look at the position that they're in against the Lakers. Obviously, you would think with Rudy Gobert, they're the favorites of winning this game. Now, without Rudy Gobert, are they the favorites of winning this game? And my answer to that is it's no. Rudy Gobert dominates the middle. He's one of the best, again, post-defensive players in the league. There are quite a few of them in the league, but he is the best. He has been a defensive player of the year, I think, 2 or 3 times. He has a tremendous ability of blocking when people are going into the paint. And when you see this team, and Karl-Anthony Towns is a good defender, but he's nowhere close to Rudy Gobert. He's more of an offensive center in this league. He's not a defensive center. Can he play defensively in the post? Yes, he can. Is he a great defensive player in the post? Obviously not if they're making a move for Rudy Gobert. It is alarming knowing that a player that you traded for in the offseason that was going to help you become a better defensive team is now going to be missing in a playing game that could cost them a playoffs position and making it into the tournament. It bothers me when you punch it, and we've seen this before. Players fight on the sidelines. Look at R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett a couple of weeks ago was fighting. I forget who he was fighting. Was it Mitchell Robinson or somebody? He was arguing with Julius Randle.
Julius Randle started some other fights.
No, it was Obi Toppin. It was R.J. Barrett and Obi Toppin arguing on the sideline.
But Randle had one with the Knicks, I think, last year, though, too, with Mitchell Robinson, I believe.
But I'm talking about this year. It happened a couple of weeks ago. R.J. Barrett and Obi Toppin were arguing on the sidelines when they called a timeout. And then after the timeout, RJ went on the court and apologized to Obi, patted him on the butt, and they were ready to play. Nothing happened. When you're throwing a punch at one of your players, obviously you don't like that player. And when you're throwing a punch like that, you're not defending yourself. You're being the bully. So when you look at this position with the Timberwolves, and this isn't the first time this has happened with the Timberwolves, this has been going on for years. The Timberwolves cannot control themselves on the sidelines. This is without Rudy Gobert. We have seen this plenty of times. Jimmy Butler and Karl-Anthony Towns were doing this when Tom Thibodeau was the coach over there and quote-unquote the GM. This is an organization that needs to control their players. It doesn't matter who the coach is, who the GM is, who the owner is, which obviously the owner can't control their players. How could the GM do that? But this is horrible. This is bad for a team like the Timberwolves that was expected to make a run going into this season with the talent that they have. Anthony Edwards, who has been hurt for the last month, but will be in this play-in game. Karl-Anthony Towns, which was out half the season with his injury, coming back after the All-Star break. They're finally playing at full strength, and then Rudy Gobert does something stupid and punches Kyle Anderson in the face, and now he's out and could cost him a playoff run this year.